we're still about 15 minutes away from when it will potentially be done. We have no additional confirmations of anything. This is one of those tornado warnings where a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located in the area, and we have to just watch out for it. We've had a lot of this happen where one capable becomes one that is very capable. There have been several of those that have caused the problems that we had earlier in the day. I'm going to zoom in if you're just starting off here with us on Fox 17 News, and yeah, we had to get away from some sports today, and I know that that's not easy if you're not in the area that's seeing the rain and the showers and the storms, but everyone needs to know what's going on. Manchester, 21 minutes from now. Tullahoma, 12 minutes. Cumberland Springs, 4 minutes. Tornado warning in effect. Again, Coffee County. We're talking about Bedford County until 8:15. I wouldn't be shocked if Bedford County has their warning lifted before Coffee County does, but there is the one area that we're watching for any velocity. What I mean by velocity is just change in wind direction and speed. Fancy words. Is wind making a circle, basically, at this point, is what we're watching out for. And you can see the areas where this is at. And red and green are two colors that the more we keep them distanced like this, the better we are. The more that they begin to circle and lead into each other like this, the worse we are when it comes to any rotation in the atmosphere. And I mentioned this with the last warning that we had. The less that we see when it comes to the overall picture of any even updates from the National Weather Service is helpful on our end, because if we don't see them, we know that we're not all that bad. Debris signatures, we always look for those as well. Now, this is lighting up a little bit here in the last 15 minutes. We treat everything as though there is something on the ground. We're not seeing any major signs of anything, but when we start seeing some greens, there could be, and I always stress, find your safe spot. There could be an active tornado on the ground right near the Cumberland Springs area. We're going to zoom in, hyper zoom in here to any of the areas we can find. We're not getting a lot of roadways to give markers for, but I will definitely tell you some towns that are in the path of this as they move in, right in the path of this green that is moving up in this direction. We have Flowertown, we've got Tullahoma, we have many spots here in our westernmost counties or easternmost counties moving from west to east that we have to watch out for. Lake Hills, Anderson, Belmont, and then you continue to move over Royal Oaks and eventually Manchester. I want to look at this in the last 15 minutes just for myself to give you a little extra perspective of what has happened and what's going on. And you can see the potential that something has been going on here and could potentially be on the ground. But going back to where the rotation would be, it lines up slightly. Here's the kicker, though. We only get an update on the radar every 5 to 7 minutes. There it is. You just saw the jump. It literally happened as I was talking about it. And this is moving to the east. So we're having things that are looking like we have very, very broad rotation. Those are words we've been using all today. What does that mean? The less we see the green and the red together, the more that we have a lesser circulation, more of an upper level circulation. So we're keeping our eyes on this, but I don't like how it looks when you get up to the Roseville area in this new radar scan, because the hotter the color, the stronger the wind is, and then it starts to fight itself. So we've got right here in Roseville going down towards Singleton and then Bottle Hollow. Now, if from the back end of this, even the backside of this warning that we have, you're okay. If you are in the areas that are right here and moving toward the east, that is your better chance to see any potential circulation or tornadoes on the ground. And after what happened today earlier, if you've not followed along with the news, we have had some catastrophic damage in many of our hometowns that we're having to deal with and help them work through and get through and work toward what do we do next. And that's going to be our focus here in about an hour. Taking a look, we're going to treat this, though, as there is something on the ground in the Roseville area out toward Willow Grove. Here we are. I'm going to look at the National Weather Service and see if they've got anything to update us with, because they have been monumental when it comes to helping us out and helping you out when it comes to getting the information and making sure we know what's up. Now, there is nothing that we have to worry about so far. It's likely a combination of wind and hail that we're seeing with all of this. However, we have to continue to watch all of our weather instruments that we can use for you. This is what we call our rotation detector. If you see nothing, you're great. If you see some greens, you got to worry a little bit. When the reds and the yellows pop up, that's when things get more on the dicey side. Rotation detector for us. What's happening here, the tracker of it, it's actually died down a little as the system has moved in. It's not been all that impressive, so we hope we keep that going. There we go, the hail that I mentioned. That's where we're seeing a lot of the colors that are out there. Let's look at our hail tracker and our hail path. Okay, we're going to shift gears here from worrying about not just rotation but also hail. Let's move this to the east and the northeast. Manchester, 22 minutes. We have hail that is the size that could potentially be in these dark purple areas. Oof. Up to about pea size to maybe even bigger than that that's coming down right now. So keep that in mind, that our hail is going to be one of the big things that we have to contend with throughout the entire evening. And I want to go back to the big picture and show you what we've been having throughout the day. This is where we're at. If you're just joining us, again, we've had a long day with severe weather. We went code red yesterday morning for today's weather. We tracked it throughout the entire day today. If you're in the circle, you're good. Nothing to worry about. I want to give you the all clear. If you are ahead of this line anywhere, and I'll draw the line all the way from our northern to southern east counties, we are still watching showers and storms that are moving in all across this entire line. Livingston, about a minute or two, rain picks up very heavily. Lightning indicator is going to be turned on for us here, and this is going to show you how much lightning we are seeing. We've got quite a bit. We've had 144 strikes in the last 15 minutes. We're continuing our tornado warning until 8:15 as you go into Coffee County. And this is the area that we're going to now once again focus on. But that's the big picture. Everywhere east of this line has the best chance to work into a few showers and storms to end the night. They should all be out of here by about 11 o'clock. But look, Flowertown, you are right on the cusp of watching this move into your area. The biggest rotation that we are seeing, as I move this to the top right-hand side of your screen, is going to be a little off toward the north, but most of the results that we're picking up, watch out for hail. If you are parked outside and you're splitting Roseville and Flowertown along 41A, along that area, you have some hail that is moving in very quickly. Hickory Hills Estates, Lake Hills. What is the timing on all of this as it does begin to move in? Well, it will continue to track to the east, and in about 15-20 minutes, it'll be close to the Royal Oaks area, and then everything will continue to move toward Manchester and Hillsborough. This is your regular radar, and we have an extension of another tornado warning that has just popped up. This is going to be also for Coffee County until 8:30. This is the area I was looking at about 10 minutes ago that is to the north of the other area that is still warned. That one is until 8:15. The other one is until 8:30. So we've got two cells that we're watching that are attempting to rotate. They're not doing a whole lot right now. We have no confirmations. I'm going to go look over here and see what the newest information coming into the Weather Center is when it comes to National Weather Service. Another warning, and this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Normandy or 9 miles west of Manchester. So moving at 40 miles per hour, if you do the math there, in about 10-15 minutes, you're going to see this move in. This is what we're seeing, and I have seen an influx when it comes to rotation. Here's your severe wind, the green and the red mixing together. Last 15 minutes have progressed quite a bit when it comes to what is just happening where. So through 8:30, we'll likely be on the air with you here and then come back on at 9:30 if nothing else happens. We have had a slew of tornado warnings that have happened, and many of those have been confirmations. We're clearing off this track, putting a new one on, hoping it picks up the Manchester area and gets us out toward the east. And yeah, 8 minutes, so there we are. That's what we're talking about. Please find your safe spot right now. What does that mean? When we say find your safe spot, it means that you have to go to the lowest level of wherever you live. Now, if maybe you're an apartment complex and you don't have a lower level than where you're at that you can get into, I would tell you to find the interior room that has no windows and as many walls between the windows as you have. If you're in the Manchester area, you have 7 minutes now. Go now. Turn the TV up. Turn us up, leave it on, and we'll keep you posted as to what's going to happen. This initial warning may end up going away for us, but we've got more activity to the north and the west that is beginning to churn, but you're next up. So lower level, interior room, fewest windows, and also closets, bathrooms. Those are all good places to go when it comes to trying to just stay safe from severe weather in general. Even with severe thunderstorms, it's not bad to take shelter and to find a place to go. We're going to put this back to the big radar here and look at the 2 warnings that we have, and I also want to show you the last 12 hours. This has been quite the day across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. We've all been in this together, and now we're still in this together, moving through and into the Cumberland Plateau. This is the last 12 hours. Watch every flashing box that we have. All the yellow flashing boxes, severe thunderstorm warnings. So hail, damaging wind. The red ones, tornado warnings. Most of them stay just to the north of Nashville, but Clarksville, Hendersonville, Madison, areas that have just been hit very hard. I'll show you even more slowed down hour by hour what's been happening to our neighbors. If you're in the Cumberland Plateau, you might not even know anything happened in some areas to the north and the west. This is going into 150 when things really began to get a little bit interesting. And here is Clarksville. We have crews that are in Clarksville right now that you're going to see from in about an hour on Fox 17 News at 9. They're going to show you houses that don't have roofs anymore. They're going to show you areas where we have cars that are overturned, and now we're hearing about loss of life in areas. For just reference point, here's Nashville. This is off to the north and the west. Maybe you're new to the area and just kind of trying to get the geography locked down. Let's continue this here as I zoom it out a little bit to what has happened and where we're going. And you can see throughout the afternoon, box after box after box going through areas. The Springfield area, this is the one in Hendersonville that was not good. Just north of Nashville, pushing through Springfield. Power outages everywhere. That's what we've been contending with throughout today. We always have one big day in December where things are not good, and this is the area that's not good right now. We still have these 2 warnings. I'm going to look at a few of the things that we've been looking at. Just got a brand new radar update. We get them every 5 minutes. And the rotation does not look all that great, which I like. What I don't like is hail with this storm system that's moving in. That's why they've put the warning out a little bit farther, just so you know that this warning is going to be until 8:30. Here we go. I'm going to look at one more thing. Take a look at your screen. Here's why I'm more concerned about hail than rotation. If you look at the very top left-hand side of your screen, this could be a very confusing map where it says shear right by Fosterville. That's what we look at when it comes to rotation. Now, to the left of that, you see it says hail. Those are areas where the hail has gotten much more progressive, moving into Middle Tennessee in this specific area, pushing more toward the north and the east. We're going to put a track on it momentarily, but I just want to chat with you guys for a couple of seconds back in front of the green screen, talking about what's going on and how we can just help you out throughout the rest of tonight into tomorrow. This is a tornado warning that we've not gotten an update on, which means we have no confirmations of it. We're just watching it on the radar. We don't have visuals of it yet, but at night, it's very hard to get a visual. We had some tornadoes earlier today before the sunset, and it was very easy to see those track into the area. So we're keeping our eyes on not just what we're seeing on the radar, but anything that you see. Please do not go outside and take any pictures until the storms have moved out. If you see something coming in, find your safe spot. Your safe spot's going to be that lowest area. It's going to be that area where you just don't have any windows. When I was a kid, I grew up on a flat, I was in a ranch. I didn't have a basement. I had 3 bedrooms. We just found the bathroom. Earlier today, my fiance and the dog were in the bathroom of our apartment. Sent me a picture. I said, good, you did the right thing. You went in there. We live near the Nashville area. Things weren't looking good. Find the safe spot, and also, if you do have pets, get them in your safe spot before you have to go there. That'll help you out. You're not chasing them around the house while you're worried about trying to stay safe. Let's see if the Weather Service has any updates for us here. We're approaching 8:15. That first warning might end up getting the expiration date quite soon, or they may not. But we have already got that extension that moves a little more toward the north and the east. And the tornado watch continues until we go to 11, which we know. Let's take a look. All those areas. Okay, we've canceled that for Giles County, so that's good. And a couple other updates. We've expired the tornado warning for Bedford County. Yeah, and Coffee County. The first one's gone. That's going to be happening here momentarily, but we still have the second one here. And we might even see both of these pop off the map sooner than later, which is good. Everything is trending in a better direction than it was about 5 minutes ago. I'm going to dive back into the radar. We've been doing this all day long. Myself and Brett Luna have just been kind of going back and forth, trying to make sure you know what you're seeing and make sure it just makes sense too, because sometimes bad weather can be it can be scary. This is the one spot right near Manchester where we've been monitoring the possibility of any rotation, and it's not broad, or it's not tight together. It's very broad. Looking out toward Manchester, we mentioned 8 minutes ago that it's going to be a knock on your doorstep. There you are. You can see it. It's knock on your doorstep. What also is going to be knocking on your roofs, your car, your siding, hail moving in. Even this has actually decreased quite a bit in the last 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll see what happens with these warnings in the next 10 minutes. But I would bet the first one is going to expire and the second one will in a little bit. Moving this forward with the hail tracker, the hail core, if this holds together, moves into Manchester in 14 minutes. The rain moves in about 10 minutes. So we're always tracking all different types of weather for you, just to make sure you're seeing what we're seeing and you know that what we're talking about is what you're going to end up having. Here we go, hyper focus, Melrose Park, Manchester, Westwood, Westmead, the Bonnaroo area, Shady Acres, Royal Oaks. The pinks show us that the heavy rainfall is going to move in very quickly. You've already got a couple of the raindrops coming down, but this is when it's going to move in. It's not going to take long, and I want to just show you something again with this exact same track on, show you the hail path, where it's been and where it's going. So here is the last little bit. We'll move you forward in time very quickly, and it's not gotten quite to you. So you're going to get the rain, heavy rain. I also want to show the lightning indicator with this that is going to be turned on to show you what we're having when it comes to, we've got a lot of lightning coming down in a few spots. This is the only spot right now we're talking about when it comes to our lightning indicator. Just on this specific radar view, 32 lightning strikes in the last 10 minutes. So you're going to hear it, you're going to see it, and it's going to be one of those things that we have to contend with. Lightning, heavy rainfall. The first tornado warning has expired. The one that was supposed to expire at 8:15 has gone off the map. That is good news. That means that we're trending in the right direction. We're being very cautious this evening when it comes to making sure that everyone's got the proper information to kick off today. Here we go. Let's take another look at what is happening on the Weather Service side, because they've been in great contact with us here and going to maintain the tornado warning, and we have penny to quarter size hail and strong wind like I was just showing you with that area that is shaded in red. I would be much more concerned about hail than rotation or tornadoes if you get out toward Manchester and then moving its way even just south of the McMinnville area. Everyone shaded in this red box is in a tornado warning until 8:30. They're going to continue that warning, but their biggest threat, like I've been saying and showing you right here on radar, is going to be hail for the rest of this evening. And by the time we hit 11 o'clock, everyone can put their head on a pillow. Everyone can say we're going to be okay, and everyone can be done with what just happened today. Now, can we say we're going to be okay in terms of things that are rough to deal with? Not necessarily. Bottom right-hand side of your screen, we have got a live look here from I-24, and yeah, things are just, we're just trying to get through this evening and into tonight. Please, if you know anyone in Clarksville, there's some flashes of lightning. Oof. Yep, lightning can be just as dangerous, so can hail, so can straight line wind, as anything else that we have. Our radar's trying to update itself. There we go, giving it its best shot. We're taking a look. Live looks throughout the entire afternoon have not been pretty. And I love showing live looks of sunrises and sunsets. This, though, when you start working into lightning and hail, it's very dangerous, it's very scary. I used to be so scared of bad weather when I was a kid that I would kind of go hide under the covers. I ended up becoming a meteorologist because I was scared of bad weather. So if it does scare you, don't feel bad. Feel free to reach out or to watch. Get the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app. That's going to be a good resource for you to stay tuned with us in real time. I'm going to look at the rotation and a couple of things I've been showing you. If you're just joining us here on Fox 17 News, we are working through another tornado warning. What I mean by that, if you haven't watched throughout the day, we have had a slew of them that have moved through, and they have left us in a bad place in a lot of Middle Tennessee. And we've got reporters in Clarksville, Hendersonville, Madison, all across areas that are north and west of Nashville that have been dealing with it. And now we have this tornado warning. You can see it right there on your screen. Still have a track on it for the area that we're most concerned about. It's into Manchester now when it comes to the rain, and that's going to continue to push to the east. I'm most concerned about this, the hail. Turning off the lightning, the hail is extensive. We're talking about heavy, large hailstones that are out there for us this morning, or not this morning, this evening, and by tomorrow morning we will be done. Manchester, the rain's already there. The hail gets to you in another 5 minutes. You're going to have the heavy rain that starts right now, and then the hail that comes in very shortly after. Areas down to the south and west, Mount Herman, Flat Creek, you get out toward Bottle Hollow. We've been talking about it here for the last good 45 minutes about what has been moving in, what is going to move out. Rotation is always why we have to watch out for a tornado warning. And they draw these boxes in a way to where if you're not in it, you don't have to worry about it, but you have to worry about this. Straight line wind that could move in. This entire area. All the way from the north, all the way down toward the south, Tullahoma, you're getting the straight line wind too. We'll move this through a few other areas, Centertown, Morrison, Estelle Springs. All these areas could be working into heavy rain in the next 5 to 10, 15 minutes. This is going to move in very quickly when it does and track out very quickly when it's over. This is a very narrow band of rain that we've got, but it does pack a punch, and this is the main area that we are watching right near Manchester. Please be in your safe spot. If you're not already, go there now. Velocity is not showing us here when it comes to the greens and the reds being very difficult to contend with, but we've got one little area where the wind is trying to fight itself back and forth each way and cause some rotation just north of Manchester and moving out toward the east. Our eyes are going to be glued to that here, but I expect this warning will end up being dropped in about 10 minutes. This is not as impressive as any other radar signature we've seen so far today. However, we're going to replace this probably with a severe thunderstorm warning moving forward. Until that box, though, does go to yellow or we are told that it is expired, we're going to stay right with you, right here on Fox 17 News, as we have been doing the entire day, and we have the whole team assembled for you here. We've got people everywhere. I do want you to stick with us through 9 o'clock and then 9 o'clock through 11, because we're going to show you some of the images, the videos, and live footage of some of the areas that have been devastated. Another December tornado event has moved into the area, and that's become more of the normal lately. We'll talk about tornado frequency month to month. We'll look at storm reports, the live pictures. We'll take you back through the radar for the last 12 hours, and we'll just make sure that you know what is happening. There is that box that is flashing yellow, which means that our red box is going to go away very shortly, meaning that our tornado warning is going to be expired once we get to the 8:30 half hour. Unless something changes in this next radar scan, I expect that red to go away, and we will keep things how they have been going. So one more look at how we have been throughout the day, and then we'll carry you into regular programming. Here we are. This is how we went. This is just the big radar picture. And if you were not paying attention earlier, here is how things worked. We had to go through a very interesting morning, afternoon, and evening, and here are all the red boxes and the yellow boxes that have been severe thunderstorms and also tornado warnings. And we've been watching those for you. We are hoping that this continues to be the case when it comes to expiring this tornado warning in a few minutes. If it does hold together, then we might have to see this continue to move to the east. But the fact that they put a severe thunderstorm warning out and not tornado warning, and we have no confirmations of anything on the ground, just worry about some hail in some areas. We'll track it one more time for you, moving off toward the north and the east at about 35 miles per hour. And this is going to continue to track into the Cumberland Plateau. Watch out if your car's parked outside and you have the ability to put inside and it's not raining yet, go move it now. Otherwise, you may end up having to be doing an insurance call a little bit later today. And this is a recap of the entire day. I mean, we have been on the TV with you since about 11 o'clock this morning, almost minute by minute, hour by hour, and the tornado warning has expired. We're going into a severe thunderstorm warning. Please stick with us. You're going to want to see for our friends and neighbors, and maybe even ways we can just talk to people that we know on how to help them out, or places we need to look to help out, coming up on Fox 17 News at 9. If any more tornado warnings pop up, we'll get to them for you. In the meantime, we're going to go back to your live and local programming.